games in Acapulco, prior to the games, my main rivals, and in fact they'd won the World Championships and the European Championships, were John Oakley and David Hunt. And of course, as a result of that, they were favourites to win the selection and go to the games. But anyway, I continued. I trained hard, and I came up with new gear and equipment and so on, and improved my performance. And eventually, I beat them in the Olympic trials, and so went in their place. And they came out to Mexico and were my reserve helm and crew. Vernon Stratton was my team manager, with Pepe Stratton, his wife, ably assisting, and he, gave a lot of thought into what to do as team manager, and he decided that in Mexico it would be very good to have our own Met man and a rubber dinghy as a support boat and things like that. And also that we should go to Mexico a month before the event started in order to get acclimatized, because it is a sort of tropical climate there and not the sort of weather we're used to in England. And you need to get acclimatized. And so we went earlier than anybody else, and we landed up when the event started far better prepared than anybody else. I also thought that the physical side of things was very important, that one should be physically fit, because if you were physically fit, you would be mentally fit. And so I used to run every morning, and Ian used to swim. I think that helped a great deal. And in those days, nobody in the sport of sailing was really bothering to do that. They didn't think it was important.
But at long last, the fateful day arrived. September the 23rd saw the team in light blue suits designed by Hardy Amies on their way to London Airport. Hopes were rightly high, their yachting caps distinctive. Acapulco was 90 degrees in the shade, higher in the open, and 84 degrees in the water.
In the very first race, the race officer laid a ridiculous line where you could hardly get down it on starboard tack. And so everybody sought the advantage at the pin end, and there was multiple collisions of boats, and I collided with a Canadian. Well, he protested me, and we extricated ourselves and whatever, and started both of us almost last, but I went on to win the race, and I don't know where he finished, but not very well up the fleet. Anyway, the protest that the people were only interested in was ours, not any of the other collisions that had taken place, because clearly they knew I was probably the favourite to win, and if I could be disqualified in the first race, it would be a great help, because there were 7 races and you counted 6. You're only allowed to drop 1 race. I went into the protest room fairly confident, because I felt that a jury boat right by the pin end had seen and filmed everything, but no, there were no witnesses on the jury boat, and no one wanted to witness for me. They were very happy to witness for the Canadian, for the obvious reasons. And anyway, sadly, I got disqualified.
Tragedy struck on the first day. Rodney Pattison was disqualified after the first race which he had won. There had been a protest on the starting line by Canada. Superdocious also protested, but the international jury upheld the Canadians. It was a protest that was to keep the British team on tenterhooks and to make Superdocious and her crew relentless in their pursuit of the winner's gun until the gold medal was secure.
Which was a severe blow, knowing that I had to survive and do well consistently well in the next 6 races to win. Fortunately, our boat speed was so good that we won the next 5 races quite easily. I think one of them by the best part of 5 minutes. And then it came to the final race, and the final race, because I had already had my dropout, I had to finish the race. And I was worried that, somebody could knock my rudder off before the start, or, anything could happen. So I sailed with a spare rudder in the back end of the boat, and I sailed with a spare genoa, and so on. And then when it came to the start, they laid an equally poor starting line again, and so everyone was down at the pin end except one boat, and that was me. I was at the other end. All I had to do was finish the race. I could come last, but as long as I finished, I'd won. And in fact, we, in spite of the extra gear and whatever, we managed to finish second. And and as a result, we won the gold medal. To win to win any gold medal, and especially one's first gold medal, is an amazing feeling. And you stand on the rostrum and you feel immensely proud, and not just for your country and for because you've achieved it. You achieved one's aim. And I've been trying for 4 years in training to try and do this. And I will remember that our Met man, who used to release these big balloons every morning to check the winds as it rose up through the sky, they had one left over, and as we stood up on the rostrum and they played the national anthem, our national anthem, he released, one of these balloons was released with Union Jack strung from underneath, and it just rose up slowly, and it was evening, it was just beginning to get dark, and it was an amazing moment, actually, and one I'll always remember.